Hi guys, welcome to the Crouch Ranch. We are live right now. If you're watching, this live, type a 1. If you're watching it later, type 2, 3 or 4 if you need operator assistance. Okay, so here we go, guys. I thought I would hop on today. It's our weekly Thursday afternoon session here with you guys. So there was a couple things that came up today. Hi, Jason. There were a couple things that came up today that I thought I would address in our live stream and just kind of talk about them and touch on them a little bit. The important facts about knowing where your food comes from, what's in it, and what you're putting in your body, and why that's important. So, hi guys, and then we'll get to some, I know, operator assistance. The operator's on their way. So, yes, okay, perfect. So, and then we'll do some quick questions and answers, I think, after I get through my quick little blurb here. I saw some interesting things today that kind of fit that theme when I was just kind of doing some social media stuff for the ranch. And one of the comments that we had from, I'm going to call him out right now, but I liked this, from Don on the Hill. I thought this was great. He was like, we need to take responsibility for our own food supply. And I thought that kind of just sums it up for me in a nutshell. If you were to like take down and just shrink everything down as to why we do this, why we're so passionate about the food that we eat and educating people on the proper way to handle and raise these animals so that you have the best nutrition that you can out of it. I think that kind of sums it up. I think as a country, as a nation, we've sort of gotten lazy about where our food comes from, and we're starting to kind of, it's like a slow awakening, kind of getting back to our roots on that, because that was kind of, that's how the American family started out. They grew their own food. They traded with their neighbor. If their neighbor had a cornfield and hogs and you raised, chickens and potatoes, you swapped. That's how it worked. So I think that getting back to our roots on that a little bit is important, and knowing where your food comes from and understanding the sacrifice of the farmer and the animal, and all the work that goes into putting that food on your table is important. I think that we forget because it's so easy to go to the supermarket and get a box of something and cook it on the stove top or pop it in the microwave. And it's filled with chemicals and plastic and crap that you really don't want in your body. But I think that, yes, we do raise Cornish. I've got a bunch of them going on right now, and I will get back to questions in a minute, I promise. My shirt says stressed, well-dressed, and coffee obsessed. But anyway, I think that's important that we get back to our roots on that and knowing where our food comes from and why having a hand in that to some degree or knowing where it comes from is important. I think that's a cool thought. I think it's even if you live in a very urban area, nowadays in most areas it's not too hard to drive a few minutes to a farmer's market and to be able to get things that were locally produced and raised. Even beyond that, if you just go to the outside edge of your grocery store and you know what you're looking for. If you stay out of those center aisles, the center aisles are all boxed processed foods. If you shop the outside rim of the market, your odds are going to be better for your vegetables and things. If you're not able to get to a farmer's market or a local fruit stand or whatever, and that's one small step that you can take, one way to start. But I think that knowing the sacrifice of raising that animal or understanding how all of that kind of comes into play and all the work that goes into it, I think it goes hand in hand, helps you control your portion sizes. And I think that as Americans, at least, we tend to go more is more and it's great. But it's not, and it's kind of killing us. obesity, diabetes, heart disease, all these things that are due to a lot of what we put in our bodies and the amounts of what we put in our bodies. I think that if you're raising it yourself, and you understand the sacrifice that goes into raising that, you're less likely to sit down and eat an entire chicken by yourself, which is more than one person should eat at a time. You're more likely to eat an appropriate amount and have leftovers and make a soup the next day. And you know what I mean? You're more likely to appreciate it and let it last. Oh, thank you, Sean. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you. Sorry, I'm totally ignoring the. Ah, yes, Jennifer. Many issues that come from processed foods. Yes, as we say around here, processed food is the devil, and you must exorcise the demon. So we make it a point to not have I mean, obviously we're human, you know, I'm not a Nazi about it. If my kid's at a birthday party and there's, you know, chips, I let her eat them, you know what I mean? But we limit it. It's a treat. It's a special thing. It's not a everyday snack, which I think we've kind of fallen into, the majority of America at any rate. But you know, what are you going to do? Exactly, Mama Two Cubs. It's why you gotta have your garden, you gotta have your own meat sources and dairy if you choose to do dairy. I personally don't do dairy. And when I do, it's as little as possible and it's as local as I can get. With the occasional cheat, of course. But I do have a penchant for frozen yogurt. So occasionally, if they don't have a non-dairy flavor that I like, occasionally I do cheat because I do like that tart strawberry flavor that they have. So I'm just, you know, I'm not perfect. But I think if I do it 98% of the time, if I make the right choice, that 2% of the time that I F it up a bit, I'm okay. You know, I figure that works out, right? So, oh, thank you, Dark Horse. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel. So yeah, I think that that's kind of important. But the other thing that I was going to mention too is that, and I posted it on the social media. So if you're follow the Facebook page, the Crouch Ranch, or our Twitter, the Crouch Ranch, or their Instagram, the Crouch Ranch, I posted a food chart that I ran across today that I thought was really great. And it talks about the different levels of farming and industrial farming and kind of touches on how it goes into like the bottom of the pyramid, which is the widest, most processed foods for the masses to feed the most. And at the very top of the pyramid, it lists you know, people growing and raising their own food and you know, being truly completely responsible for their own food. Which of course is not possible for everybody. You know, it goes, here's the list. It goes, grow your own food, and then it's local organic and local pastured, and then it's industrial pastured, and it explains what each of those things are, and then industrial organic, and then industrial food, which is at the bottom, which is the widest part of the pyramid because that is what is mass produced. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool, and I ran across that. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And you know, kind of breaks it down, you know. And then I stole something that I read. I didn't steal it. I'm gonna give them credit. I don't know where they got it from or if they wrote it themselves, but there was a page that I looked up, or that I follow, I guess, called Pasture Bird. And I thought this was kind of cool. So I'm going to read this to you guys real quick because I think this kind of sums some of it up too. And I think it's kind of cool. And I know it's boring. I'm reading to you, but just go with it, okay? We say organic, schmorganic, because the organic label certifies that chickens were fed an organic feed, free of unnatural fertilizers or pesticides. But that's about all it's good for. Organic chickens can, and almost always are, crammed together in grow houses with cement floors, poor air quality, and living in their own filth. So rather than go down that road, we put our chickens outside where they can peck and scratch and act like chickens. They get fresh air, sunshine, and are moved to fresh pasture every single day to forage for bugs, grubs, seeds, and worms. It's time to look beyond the labels and ask the hard questions and know your farmers. I thought that was just a great succinct way of putting it, because when I try to explain it to people, when they're like, well, I always buy organic chicken at the store, and I'm like, that means nothing to me. First of all, organic feed is still full of corn and soy, which I've done a previous live stream about how fabulous that is for you and for the animal and for the planet. It's like 3 strikes against it. It could be organic, but I rather look for non-GMO, no corn, no soy. So going back to that previous live stream about that. So, but he's asking what, no bikini on? I know, well, it is raining today. So it's, well, not fully raining, but it's a little drizzly today. So not today. Oh, well, thank you, Dark Hearts. Yeah, we're definitely not perfect, but we are real. We are just us. So we try. We do the best we can. And like I said, I understand that not everybody can live on a farm or raise their own meat, but you can read labels and you can ask those questions and find out where your food is coming from to stop in supporting the industrial farms that are cranking out food that's literally killing you. Literally killing you. Let me say that again. That industrial food is literally killing you. Very slowly, but it is. Trust me, it's making you sick, it's making you slow, it's making you tired, it's making you have different disease states. It all is a contributing factor. So that being said, I know we don't have 12 inches of snow, Jennifer. I know. We don't, but you know, whatever. So, well, here's the thing. Julian is asking if organic beef is better for making hamburgers. So hamburgers, of course, remember, is odds and ends ground up together. Here's what I would recommend. Do not buy the pink sludge at the store, right? Obviously, I'd be against that. But cheap, generic, you know, big pack of pink meat that's got the sludge and all kinds of stuff, and the cows were fed all kinds of antibiotics and whatnot, right? No, we don't want that. I personally would prefer naturally raised cows that have been pastured, which means grass-fed, but there's also, you know, tricky ways around that too. So you want to look for pastured, grass-fed, you know, beef. If you can find a local supplier, that's great. If you can find it at your farmer's market, sometimes, like we're lucky enough here, we have a local health food type market. I guess, I mean, to me, it's just a regular market, but it would, most people would consider it, you know, akin to like a Trader Joe's or a Sprouts, but I would say even better. They have a lot of packaged foods there and processed foods there. But this is like truly natural food, I would say. So they have some locally raised bison meat that they stock there. I know that they've had locally grass-fed beef there that you can purchase. So if you can find that, and sometimes it takes some hunting. It takes, you know, Googling your area. It takes talking to different people. It takes, you know, joining a Facebook group that, you know, is into the same kind of thing, that you guys can say like, hey, I found these here, or I found this person that raises their own chickens, or whatever, that you can do some kind of a co-op. I had somebody reach out to me yesterday. I won't name them by name, but they don't live too far from me. And they have decided to do a co-op with some neighbors on a friend's land. And they're going to raise some Cornish chickens. And they were asking some questions about the feed and where to get it and whatever. So I got them all hooked up. But that's a cool thing. Like if you have a friend who lives maybe on the edge of your county who's got land, and you guys all go in and divvy up the expenses and the processing work of it. Obviously, you're not going to drive to the edge of the county every day to help feed. They'll have to do that and do a lot of the maintenance and the hard work. But, you know, come down and help process and do it all together. You know, that's how that is going to thrive and become a movement. So I think that that's a cool thought and a cool thing. And I applaud them for doing that. Again, I don't want to name out, you know, out them because they seem to be kind of a private person. But I think that idea is awesome, and I applaud them for doing that, and for, you know, taking the time to research what kind of feed and where to get it and why and all of that. I think that's great. So I think it's awesome. Oh, Calvin just made a good point. Exactly, Calvin. Yes. People wonder why some youth are built kind of like adults. You know, girls are maturing faster and all of that. Yes. And then you notice a lot more uh, obesity amongst kids because it's the drive-through um, packaged bags in their lunches, generation. And it's sad. It breaks my heart every time I see a kid that is legitimately, you know, no other health issues. They don't have a thyroid issue or anything. They're legitimately just overweight because they haven't been taught how to eat properly and their parents aren't either educated enough or aren't able to put in the work for it to, because yeah, it takes more work in a way until you get the hang of it, just like anything else. It takes practice, it takes learning. But once you're able to do that and kind of get out of the laziness of, well, it's easier to just microwave a burrito. Well, you know what? It's not that much harder to you know, cook the beans at home and, get a healthy tortilla or make it yourself. That's super easy to do. Make a few in a head. You can freeze them. You know what's in it. There's a lots of things you can do that you can have ready to go like that if you're willing to put in a little bit of work ahead of time. And I think that's where we get stuck. So what are you gonna do? Oh, hi, Mower Man. Yes, we were talking about more natural. I don't like the word organic. We were kind of going over that a little bit. Organic can be a little bit of a cover word, um, but I think it's definitely more. You got to know where your food comes from, know your labels, but for sure, they don't go outside. Yes, a lot of things that are raised. Oh, hi, keeping it Dutch. I didn't see you on there. Sorry. See, I get jibber jabbing. Um, but yeah, so I mean, something can say organic, but that's not what I look for on a package, on a label. I look for non-GMO because that is more important than organic. Organic is like almost a lie in a lot of ways. It can be organic and non-GMO, and I'm happy. But if it just says organic, if you flip it over, I guarantee you're going to read some things you don't like. So just keeping that in mind. It's organic is one of those things where, my stuff's now organic, right, USA? Like, it's one of those things. Like, they write the check, they get the label. It's a little, yes, there's some hoops they have to jump through, obviously, but there's, again, the industry has found ways around that. So it's definitely, oh yeah, I've seen that, Calvin, where they left the hamburger out and then it looks exactly the same. So, all that. I missed some questions, I think so. But I know, never again. I know. But yeah. But that's just, again, this is just my take from my research that I started long before we started raising our own food. That was what kind of ended us up out here was I started just really kind of opening my eyes to what was in the food and what was going on and what, the effect on the human body, the effect on the animals, the way that they're treated and raised in order to meet these impossible production standards that we've set because the government and commercials and society has insisted that we need this much meat in our diet. Well, you don't. We grow way more and we consume way more meat as a society now than we did 50 years ago. And it's not necessary. It's too much. And it puts too much of a strain on the environment because of the way they do it. It's important. You got to rotate your crops and your livestock land just like anything else. Like you can't kill the land. You have to let it have time to regenerate. It's very important. So you got to think of those things, right? Oh, that's awesome. You got a lake right there, Gray Man. That's perfect. That's perfect. I love it. That's awesome. So yeah, so that's my little rant in a nutshell. And I think there was one more thing I had saved for you guys that I wanted to tell you before no, I guess that was it. I guess that was it. I tried to make myself little notes, but I guess I did hit all those little points. So somebody had asked earlier if we're doing chickens. We are doing Cornish. I've got 50 in the brooder right now that will be ready to go out to pasture this weekend, so we're going to be filming some of that. I've got another 50 that are like a week old yesterday that still need a few more weeks in the brooder. And then I've got another batch coming in April for those. Keep that stock rotating there. And then I've got my turkeys that are in there too, my broad-breasteds. And then I've got some eggs. My Jennies are starting to lay again. I'm collecting those eggs to put in the incubator. So fingers crossed that that all goes well. So exactly, yes. That's right, old rocker. He was just saying that he's getting his meats from a local country butcher. Yeah, so that's a great thing to do too. A lot of times, if you can find a traditional butcher shop, we're lucky we have one up here that has a lot of like local grass-fed beef as well, and certain steaks and things that you can get. And then we've also found some people that we can trade with for um, some pork for beef and all that kind of stuff. So it works out, it works out for everybody that way. So, oh, Robbie, good word. Oh, you guys are terrible. Let's see. Yes, reading labels is scary these days. I agree. I know. Yes, there's a lot of crap in the food, but you might be right, Calvin, but that's all right. We just ignore and move on. We're good. Um, so anyway, guys, that was just my little topic for today. We're going to try to do another live on Sunday briefly. Fingers crossed. This weekend's kind of getting out of control because there's a lot going on and I got to move those birds. And we're going to be doing a regular video for that. So, but we'll try to go live on Sunday as well. And then, oh, right on, the Rents Homestead. Market Farmer, awesome. Perfect. Oh, thank you, Dark Horse. Thank you. Take care. I love how you guys are just like beating him up for his comment. I don't even want to say, but I think it's great. I'm not even going to say what it is. You guys all have to fish through the comments and find it yourself later, or I'll have deleted it, but we don't need to go there. Do we? Anyway, but yeah, we've got some exciting stuff this weekend. We're going on a harbor cruise, Mike and I. We are kid-free on Saturday evening. So we're going to go on a little harbor cruise, which is exciting. I hear there's wine involved, so that's always a draw for me. And then we'll be moving birds and doing a video and all that. And I know he's got a video in the pipes that I think he was going to try to do yesterday, but we had some things that we had to take care of around here that took priority, and so he'll get that done. I promise he will. So we're in California. We're in California. But yeah, so I love how I love these comments, like literally from a different video. Somebody else is watching a different video right now. This is what I deal with all day long, you guys. Like people saying terrible things about me like on these comments, and it just cracks me up. I can't even. Too funny. Gotta love it. But it's funny. He did call me a beautiful white woman, though, mixed in there. I don't know. I won't read the comment. I just deleted it. Too funny. I did, Calvin. Calvin was saying that I've mentioned in previous videos that I used to tend bar and my waitress, and I taught dance lessons at the bar and all that. And yeah, I mean, I do. I definitely have a thick skin, but I think it's funny some of the things people will say when it would be like if you went to go get your taxes done and you're sitting across from the person doing your taxes and you suddenly say to them, I really hate your face. You're just ugly. You're stupid looking. And they'd be like, thanks. I thought you were here to get your taxes done. Like, it has nothing to do with the topic of where we're at. Like, they'll just pick something random about my appearance to like go off on. And I'm just like, okay, that's cool. You know, whatever. I just think it's funny. So, oh no, there's flamingos in this room. Actually, wait a minute, are there? I think you might be right. I may not have any flamingos in here. You're right. I don't have any flamingos in here. I am slipping. I'm gonna have to hide one in here. I try to keep the bedroom though. No, in all reality, I do keep the bedroom kind of a flamingo free zone. That's for Mike's benefit. It's like the one place that I haven't like hidden flamingos. Actually, no, I take it back. I just spotted one. The dog's toy in the dog bed. There's a flamingo in the room, but I don't have any hung up on the walls or anything like that. So, you know, that's true, Calvin. Trolls will be trolls. It's just funny. I know, and that's the thing. Yes, Raimundo, exactly. There's some of the things people would never say to your face, but they're keyboard warriors. Gotta love it. It's all good though. Yeah, well, I let him share this room with me, so I tried to make it not too. I feel bad enough. Like this room, it's not that it's a girly room, but I mean, I have some of like my grandmother's antique furniture in here that's a little more girly, and so. But I tried to like make it not so girly. It's all good. So I know I did, Roughneck. I recovered with the no flamingos. I actually did have a flamingo, so that was a good thing. But what do you do? So now I've rambled on again for far too long. Alas. So, so that's what's going on this next few days here with us, and finishing up the Playhouse too in the next week, hopefully, or following weekend, I should say. Um, so hopefully we'll get all that squared away and all that good stuff. So it's all good. But I know Kevin. Yes, Kevin's saying he wished he had the time to raise his own meat. It's not so much the raising of it that takes that much time. I mean, it does, but if you just factor it into your day, it's not that bad. The days that get really long are the butchering days. So that's why I think one of the important things is when you're gonna do birds specifically, because it's not like when you do a pig where it's like, we're gonna butcher the pig on this day and it's gonna go this way. When you're doing poultry, you can do them at different ages and different sizes on the Cornish, because you can do like, the 1 to 2 pound range for game hen size, the fryers, the broilers, like, you can let them grow out up to like 12 weeks and have larger birds, provided that the heat doesn't get too intense by that part of the summer. So you got to kind of plan that out too. But so you kind of want to do them in stages, because even with the chicken plucker, it takes a minute to do that many birds. So you don't want to have to be doing 50 birds in one day. Like you can, it's totally doable. Your back is going to hate you and you're going to be really tired and it's going to take a minute, So it's nice to be able to kind of do it in stages. So you kind of want to plan that out and think about it, because that's like, that's going to be a butchering weekend. Like Saturday, that's what we're doing. You get the setup of everything and then the tear down and so it just, everything takes time, just like anything else. But if you love doing it and you enjoy it, then it's all good, right? So, oh, thank you, great man. I'm glad you like those. So anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap it up now that I've jibber-jawed at you for 30 minutes, which I didn't intend to do. This was supposed to be a 10-minute live stream, by the way, but didn't work. Can't shut me up. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. For those of you that were able to hang out with us while we were live, that's awesome. And make sure you like the video, share the video, make sure you're following us at The Crouch Ranch on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. It's all the same, The Crouch Ranch. So make sure you're following us and liking us and all of that on there on social media. And what else? Oh, a shout out to Jennifer. Frankie loves her shirt. I just dropped your thank you note in the mail today. I don't know if she's still there, but thank you. So anyway, guys, Frankie will be wearing that next time we get her in a video. I think you guys will enjoy that. It's cute. So either that or I'm going to get like hate hate comments for letting my kid wear that shirt, but we'll see. Half dreading it, half dreading it. We'll see. So anyway, guys, hit that like button. Don't be afraid to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell so you get the notifications when I do crazy things like go live and talk nonstop for 30 minutes because you don't want to miss that. And and then share the video. Send it to your buddy. Let him check it out. Make sure you subscribe. Muy importante. So, all right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. We're heading into the weekend, so deep breath and prepare yourself and stay healthy. Go get some fresh air and eat something organic. Well, maybe not organic. Just go eat something healthy. All right, guys. Peace.